Now, Aditya, related assets. I can kind of understand what this means by the terminology of it, where I can connect maybe one asset to another asset, but I feel like there's a lot more to it than that. What is this innovation that you're going to describe to us today?
So, did you know, Sam, that there's a research study done which says that marketers often spend 33% of their time trying to find assets that may be related to each other. And
That's incredible.
15%, yeah, and 15% of those may even be spread across different sources. So one of the strengths of Cloudinary is it provides that single source of truth for managing disparate asset types, whether it's images, videos, or PDF files, etc. So think of scenarios where you have images of a product shot from various angles, and you want to provide instructions to your marketer or your whoever is the e-commerce person to use those images in a certain way when they go on the e-commerce site. And now you want to relate all these assets. We can now support this ability programmatically through a public ID. So you can essentially create a bi-directional relationship between your hero assets and a set of assets, and solve all kinds of scenarios like shop the look. So if you want to create like a look for your living room with a couple of couches, coffee table, lamp, and have all those product imagery, contained together and associated with each other, you can now do that programmatically with Cloudinary. So you can create these relationships in a one-to-many way. So as you can see on the image on the right, you can relate an asset A to B, C, D, and E, but B, C, D, and E are not necessarily related to each other. So you can have that bi-directional relationship multiple ways.
And like, if I'm thinking about other examples that you have here, because I like the shop the look example, but I can also think like people that are involved with content, like people that are working in the news and working in the media, to be able to say like these assets have connections to each other, and it might be a transcript, it could be audio files, it could be video files. It could say that all of these images are of this person, and there's different ways to go about this. So to me, there's a lot of
Absolutely.
versatility when it comes to this overall connection that you're creating by being able to bring these assets together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think video and its associated transcripts in different languages, that's a great example of using related assets feature. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. Many of our customers have requested for this feature given their use case. So hoping we can address their needs, this latest innovation.
And I think one thing this also addresses that we come up across a lot of scenarios where customers have developed folder structures. Maybe you have a lack of folder structures when it comes to managing their various assets. Programmatically, maybe inside of Cloudinary's overall asset management systems, but it's where they might say, oh, I want to move assets from these folders. I want to rename these folders. I want to delete these folders. And in some ways, it allows for that type of work to be done, because you could say, regardless of what the folder structure is, these assets will stay connected to each other thanks to the related assets feature that we're describing here today. So it does allow for a lot of people that might feel stuck because of choices that were made, maybe even before they joined their organizations, when it comes to how assets are overall organized, and make sure that now they can create a little bit more uniformity to what fits that current organizational plan, their overall look on how they want things to be found within the teams. So this is pretty cool.
Precisely, a lot of flexibility in storing and managing assets, plus all the time that is saved downstream in searching related assets. So
Yes,
plenty of
yes.
value there.
And that's the one thing that I have to keep remembering, because one thing that I'm finding that is a commonality with many things that are coming from Cloudinary's product team at this time, and using the 3 updates that have come from Cloudinary that we're highlighting in this overall profile, a lot of it is about time saving. Like if we look at the example of the drop shadow, that's saving time, because now we don't have to go into manually apply drop shadow across multiple images before we can deploy them. The same thing with the upscaling, cutting down the back and forth. This, in this case, trying to find the right asset. So really, everything that we have here has a nice common thread, in my opinion, about time saving and creating more efficiencies within the workplace. Do you agree?
Absolutely. It's all about giving brands the ability to unleash their visual experiences, but doing it in a highly productive way.
Well, I gotta say, Aditya, we've probably said enough to get people excited about this. So let's bring in our friend Paul here to give us a good overview of how this would be done using Cloudinary technology. So Paul, how is this done?
Yeah, no problem. So this example here touches on one you mentioned, Sam, where we have a video, which is a product demo for makeup, and then we have 3 transcripts that are attached to it. So right now they're sitting in the same folder. They aren't really connected in the related asset in the way that related assets would solve. They just sort of put together. If they were to move, you sort of lose that inherent relationship. So what we really want to do here is be more prescriptive about how these are actually related. So I'm actually going to open up Postman here, and Postman is a great tool for demoing APIs. Like Aditya had mentioned, this is done programmatically with public keys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the resource called related assets in our API. And I'm going to pass along the makeup product demo video, which is the main video asset that I want to link. And then I'm going to pass an array called assets to relate. And I'm simply going to pass the 3 transcripts. And so when I run this, I should get a response from Cloudinary saying that there was a successful linking of these assets together. And I will click to do this. And we get the success messages back here, the 200 for each of these assets. So once I've done that, if I go back into the DAM and I look at my assets, right now you'll notice we have the basic summary information, we have the metadata information, and we have the comments. If I hit refresh here, there will be a new icon that appears. And that icon here is the related assets. So if I click on this, we can see that these assets have now been programmatically linked to this video. If I close out of the video and open up one of these transcripts, it will notice that that related assets icon is there, and we can see that it's been linked to this video. So now there's an actual bond between each of these assets in your library. So no matter what happens with the taxonomy, they're still going to be linked together. And you can do this, like you said, not just for transcripts, but for related products. If you're doing like a shop the look, like we mentioned, or you could maybe do this with travel and hospitality images for a particular place, things like that.
And I think what's nice about your example is everything's very well written out in terms of the public IDs, where I can see, oh, this is my English transcript, this is my German transcript, et cetera, et cetera. But in a lot of cases, when it comes to the ways that people use Cloudinary, they might have public IDs that are super random, and there's no way to tell what is what. So in my opinion, the related assets feature even helps further with things like that. So that way, if I was trying to hunt down this audio file for this project, and let's say it is 27 random characters, well, that doesn't matter as much anymore, because now I can make sure that I related them during the upload process or after the upload process, and it can all make sure that everything's put together regardless of naming conventions.
Exactly. And I think what I was getting at here, and I forgot to mention, is that there could be multiple German transcript files, right, in different locations. So this way you're able to tell which is which. If people may actually have too general of a naming scheme. And like you said, there could be different naming schemes over the course of years of products being uploaded and images being uploaded, things like that.
And this really emphasizes what Aditya had said, is that because you took something that we at Cloudinary call raw files, something that's not an image or a video, something that typically wouldn't have cropping, resizing, format quality types of transformations to it, you're able to still relate them. So regardless of what these assets are, we can relate them to each other. So if it's an image, a video, or something that's considered raw, that could be things like text files, it could be things like font files, they could be HTML, CSS. There's many things that could be considered raw. But what we're showing is that connection can happen with this, which is really, really powerful. Fantastic. So Aditya, I'm impressed. Hopefully we're all sitting here impressed. Is there any final thoughts you have about this overall process here?
No, I'm very glad that we've been able to launch these critical features for some of our customers. I hope we also inspire some of our folks who are looking at Cloudinary as an option to address their visual media needs. Hopefully this convinces them to try out Cloudinary. And of course, we will be launching many more innovations in the coming months. So look forward to sharing those as well with you.
Absolutely. And we should emphasize that there are going to be lots of places where you can get those amazing product updates that you're working on, Aditya, because I know you're issuing awesome blog posts. We're going to make sure this is available for people inside of Cloudinary's YouTube channel, as well as our Cloudinary Academy, which is our official training resource for all customers. But it's to say that I'm really glad to have people like you and Paul shining an amazingly big light on the great work that our product and R&D teams are putting together at Cloudinary for all of our customer base.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, if you're waiting and you're saying, oh, but I want to find out what's happening at the very next day, because we're always pushing things, always know that we are putting out latest and greatest material also in our documentation. As I mentioned in previous product updates, but you can't state enough, Cloudinary.com documentation is going to be your go-to source for finding out about exactly how to use and dive into some of the features that we showed here today, and of course, in future product updates too. So on behalf of everybody at Cloudinary, and of course, Aditya and Paul, thank you for taking the time to learn about these amazing products, and we hope to see you for future programs. Take care.
Thanks, guys.